right. We're live. I have been trying to get... Let's see. Is this working? Yeah, this is working. I have been trying to get subtitles working on these videos. So this is a goofy invention thing. I've got a bunch of ideas for inventions and stuff, and I want to share them with people and like try to get them out there in a way that isn't just a text thing. So you can see on like, I've got this link here, try up idea list, and that's all these ideas for like stuff that could be done, things that seem like good ideas but doesn't seem like anyone's doing, and some of them people are actually doing them, but like this heavy lifting drone for drone delivery stuff. Amazon's already doing that, so I crossed it off the list. But anyway, I went over the ideas with my wife, and she said, help me figure out which ones are actually worth presenting. And so I'm presenting them in Colonel Detlef's House of Inventions. So that's the thing that I'm trying to do. And the conceit of the show is that he's this German engineer
Willkommen in Detlef's Elfen Dungeon.
who, it's this goofy pun thing where there's a pun on Ober, which is actually, it's Oberst is colonel and Ober is waiter, and in German, and so there's the pun of he pronounces it Ober Detlef, which means he says that his name is the waiter Detlef instead of Colonel Detlef, and then he also
Elfen Dungeon
says Elfen Dungeon, which is German for invention house.
We have no
But
elves.
then he pretends that he doesn't know German. So it's this...
Not the dungeon, but
I don't know. I thought it was funny. So that's the intro. He's speaking German, but he doesn't understand German. But, so what happens is, you can see in the subtitles here, YouTube auto-generates
Willkommen in Detlef's Elfen
subtitles,
Dungeon.
but it
We have no
thinks
elves.
it's in German. So if you go over to this, where is it? Where's one that has? No. Typical. Here we go. So if you go over to this and go to subtitles, it says German automatic. It automatically generated subtitles in German, but they're not complete because the video is actually in English. And I tell it it's in English because when I uploaded it, I go to details and I say, this thing is in English. It's in English right here. It's not in German, but it thinks it's in German anyway. YouTube's trying to be too smart. So that's the first problem. YouTube's trying to be too smart. It's taking its idea of what the video is instead of what I actually told it the video is and generating subtitles. Okay. There should be a way to fix that, but it doesn't seem that there's a way to fix that. Like I can't say English subtitles auto-generate, like auto-translate. Can't do it. To use auto-translate, publish captions in the original video language first. Auto-translate is unavailable for auto-generated captions. So the original video language was auto-generated incorrectly because YouTube did it wrong. So number one, they're generating it based on the language they think it is, the language they detect at the beginning of the video instead of the language that's actually in the video. Two, they won't let you tell it, they won't let you override that and say, no, just auto-generate the thing I told you to generate. They won't let you do that. So you have to generate them manually. So you go to English, let's see, is this the one? Yeah. So I went in here and I said enter manually. So I typed all this in manually. And so now this works.
Sponsored by
Triop.
So you have to go somewhere. In person.
Right. I gotta fix this. In person instead of, okay. There. So that works, but when you actually watch it, it doesn't look like the auto-generated one. So here's one with the auto-generated.
I
You
have
can
been.
see
I'm actually
it comes up.
like
Well, I
last
can't
week
mouse
I
over.
said,
There you
oh,
go.
or sometime last week I
It comes up
started
word by
Prey,
word,
and then
and
just
it's got the little
today,
scrolling
I started
thing.
a
It's really
second
nice.
playthrough
It looks
of
good.
I mean,
Like I want to be
way
able to
back
do
in
something like that.
2017, I did like
But
3
I
or
don't
4
want to.
playthroughs.
I don't even know how to do that with the typing. We'll get there. So I typed all this stuff in. I want it to look like the auto-translated one, so it looks nice. So I downloaded the caption file. Here's the caption file. And it's got the little header thing, and then it's got some timestamps and the words, and then more timestamps and more words. So it's straightforward. But I want it to look like the auto-generated ones. So I downloaded the auto-generated ones. I went to this video, and I just downloaded this. I said download, and I downloaded it in a number of different formats. And the one that looked like it had the actual timestamp animation stuff is the VTT. So here it is. It's got aligned start, and it's got all these little timestamps for each individual word is broken up by timestamp. And then it does the whole thing. So instead of having them all broken up, it shows the whole phrase. And then it shows that phrase on top and then all these words down below. So that's how it's encoding it. It's got all these little timestamps and stuff. So theoretically, if you take this and upload it back into YouTube, you should get that same animation. Now, I didn't do the test. I should have tested it first, but I didn't. But I should have tested it first because if you upload this, let's see, edit video. If you upload this to Subtitles, say we're going to make like add language English United States. Sure. Subtitles, add, upload file with timing. Yep. And this is in downloads, captions 1. So this is the exact thing that YouTube gave me. First, it says there's a bunch of errors. Like, that's not good. Why would there be errors? Why would YouTube generate a file that generates errors when you upload it? So that's bad to start up with. Allow errors. Yes. Go. So now when you play it,
Paul, welcome back
it
to the
doesn't
show.
show this stuff.
Thanks.
And it just
You've
shows
been playing some more of Prey, I
the
see, from your
blocks.
post.
It doesn't break them out
I
by
have
individual
been.
word.
I'm
Even though that
actually,
timing is in there. So
like last
the timing is in there. YouTube gave me the data. Then when I re-upload it to YouTube, it says it's wrong. So that's broken. So that's thing number 3. And then thing number 4, it doesn't let you actually get to that point. You can't get captions that look like the captions that YouTube is giving to you. Now, maybe I need a different format. I don't know. But so anyway, I should have tested that beforehand. But instead of testing that, discard changes. I don't actually want that. I went and wrote a Python script to take the captions and make a new caption file. And basically what it does is it just splits up those blocks of words into even time segments and just prints the words out using that same format and then prints that out to a file. So it's pretty straightforward. Although I had trouble with Python, this is an aside, I had trouble with Python because Python wouldn't let me put the time. I was using datetime, and time objects in datetime are really handy because they've got this. So this, you can see in here, there's this hours, minutes, seconds, milliseconds, and that's really cool. And datetime time objects in Python can print those out. So you can input them into datetime, and then you can print them out as, in this format, which is really handy. The problem is that those units, those time objects, you can't do math with them. You can't add them and subtract them. Like, you can't divide them or anything. So it's just like, why? Why is this so dumb? So I ended up writing timestamp to string thing that just converts this into a seconds, like seconds in float numbers. And then I wrote one that converts it back so that you get the nice string format out again. Probably this has been done 1,000 times, but I did it again. And probably this whole thing has been done 1,000 times. I just did it again. I should probably look on Google. Thanks, Google. I should probably look on Google just to see if there's a way to get that formatting out nicely for the subtitles. But anyway, so I got that date time thing working. I printed out the number of seconds, and I split it up to have an increment with the duration, and then I've got the start position and the end position, and I print out each word with the little brackets around it, And then I print out the whole thing, and I save this. The last one is this one, so that it shows up at the top. So like it should all be perfect, but what happens when you upload it is it looks like, well, let's just run this. Let's just run it. Yeah, so I could probably take all of that debug stuff out, but it's nice to have. It's nice to have debug stuff. So that's what it does. It takes this and it converts it into something like this. So if you upload it, let's see, this is the diecast. This is, here we go. All right. So I'm going to English United States, sure. Add, upload a file with timing. This is going to be over in try opportunities, timestamp, new captions, error on line 7. Yeah, well, it's less than the errors that you had on your own file, Google, so allow errors and continue. What happens if I don't allow errors and continue? Oh, I see. It just tells me to upload again. Fine. Fine. So it breaks off the beginning of this thing, and then it just has
We have no elves. And not the dungeon,
these
but
things,
whatever.
pushing each other up,
Sponsored
which
by
is
Trial.
fine, I guess.
So do you have to go somewhere in person instead of just using the internet like a normal person?
Did I forget in person on that one too? Captions. In person. Captions.vtt. Should be saved. Captions 1. Yeah, so that's what it's doing. So I think what it wants you to do is upload all of this stuff, upload file without timing. YouTube will sync your subtitles to your video's audio. Processing may take a while, text files only. So I think what it wants me to do is just take this whole thing, strip out all the timing that I laboriously entered, but whatever, and then give it a text file. So let's do that. So we'll copy this out. We'll do it live. Out file, new captions, .txt. And then we don't need any of this time stuff, but it doesn't matter. Split it all up. Start and duration words output equals don't need any of this. And let's save this as timestamp stripper.py. There we go. This just strips the stuff out. Captions, new captions.txt. All right. So we don't need any of this. Initialize the header. Yeah, we want to initialize the header. We want to split it up. Don't need last for I and times. Start and duration words. Don't need to do that. 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 All of this goes away. Output plus equals. Oh, I should have. Last I of 1. That's what we need. Plus 2 new lines. Plus 1 new line. Okay. Now this can all go away. I of 1. It's kind of weird that I'm using I instead of X or N or whatever, but we don't want to print the output. Open, write output. Okay. Oh, and then output just is an empty string because we don't even want the header file. Okay. Let's see what happens there. New captions.txt. There. It's just a text file. So let's see what Google does with this. Continue. New captions.txt. Open. Save. Publish. Processing may take a few hours. Okay, Google. Processing will take a few hours. We'll see if that works. I'm going to go and manually type in all the text for all my other videos. Thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you have better